Welcome to Clickstop, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at LuckyDiceCafe.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, and Tylor Speeds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clickstop today. This is your host, Daniel. Men love to have hobbies that make them mad. Pal speaking. Just want to let everyone know that Clickstop is brought to you by TrollandToad.com. Find HeroClix new and old at TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Use coupon code ClickStop for 5% off your HeroClix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. Also, if you like what you hear on Clickstop today, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Clickstop. $1 and above gets entered into our monthly HeroClix giveaways, which this month is a brick of the new Fantastic Four set. $5 and above gets entered into our exclusive HeroClix Discord, where we have monthly HeroClix classes, and we have a lot of good discussion there with the other patrons. And also, we have a new website, clickstop.com, where we've been posting some casual articles so far. Plan on posting some other articles just as the team has time to write and post some things up there. And we're going to get probably some guest writers at some point as well. So we got a full plate today. First of all, we have Jason, Dr. Thunder's little cousin, Alvy.
I think he dropped from the call.
Oh, man, he did.
He's enjoying that Mr. Thunder too much.
Yeah, he had a little too much Mr. Thunder. We'll add him back. Well, next of all, we have Tylor is finally going to buy some HeroClix Spees.
We'll see, maybe. Thinking about it. I'm in the market.
And then we have Alex. Oh, I don't have a good nickname for you this week, Alex. Coos.
That's fine. Okay.
And then finally joining us is Dr. Thunder's little cousin, Jason Alvey.
What's up? Technical difficulties, right?
Yeah. And then our special returning
I don't know
guest.
What happened. Yeah.
And then our special returning guest, Jay Solomon.
Wow, an attempt was not made. You do not get a badly drawn gold star.
Yeah, I didn't have a nickname for you today.
Special guest. It's good enough.
But just returning special guest. Yeah, I mean you get the highest title.
This is the closest I get to seeing Americans now. So yeah.
That is true.
Is it?
They just extended the border
know.
closing for at least another month.
Yeah.
And I would be surprised if it's opened again in the next ever. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. I might try to play Indiana States next week. Maybe.
Cool.
I think you know how you get the hats that have the two beer cans on the side, the helmets.
Yeah.
I think I may get that with hand sanitizer or Lysol, but have them run into like web shooters in my hands. Yeah. So just like somebody gets too close, I just spray them in the face with Lysol.
There was actually a video on Reddit that somebody did that. They made a web shooter out of like Lysol or something, and then he would just go around and spray door handles before he opened it. It was really cool.
That's funny because you already love hand sanitizer so much.
I do use hand sanitizer quite a bit. I'm using some right now just because you said something. Now, what I did notice is that the hand sanitizer we've gotten post-pandemic is not as good as it was pre-pandemic.
The quality's gone down?
Half of them are tainted or something, right?
The strength of it.
Good.
The strength of it's gone down. Like old school hand sanitizer would like dry out my hands and crack them. And I would take that as a sign of them being clean. Probably something wrong with me there. But the new stuff just like moisturizes my hands. It's like the opposite.
Hey, moisturizing is important.
It is true. That is true.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with soft hands.
They're definitely soft these days. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go if I can find a good hotel to stay at. It seems halfway decent. It's about 3.5 hours away, but it runs late in the day on a Sunday. So
Yeah, that's a little annoying.
yeah, it is. Starts at 1 on a Sunday for 5 rounds in a top 8 probably.
That's a bit odd, but okay.
Yeah. So it is what it is. So let's. So first of all, last episode, I didn't answer Jonah Weikert's questions. So this episode, at least on my end, is unofficially, officially dedicated to him because we're going to talk a lot about meta today, competitive play going into nationals. Next week we'll be doing our Fantastic Four set review. So do we want to get House of X and Spider-Man, I won't say out of the way, but out of the way first?
Yeah.
I mean, because for me personally, like, I'm not thinking about this yet because it's not going to come out before Nats.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, Jay was telling me that the pictures that the House Rules Gaming posted we'd already seen.
Yeah,
Where?
Yep, that was in the original solicits in the past. Yeah, those are. I don't know what it happens every set though. People rediscover pictures 2 months. I don't know what it is, but people are.
Wait, like with the
about them.
dials we've seen?
No. There was a picture of like what the Fast Force. There's a couple random pictures. Like we already saw those a couple months ago, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, for House of X.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we already saw him, so who's the pink guy that's transparent?
Blob Herman.
Glob Herman, yeah.
Glob
He's
Herman?
one of
That's
the
some like
young
'90s X-Men stuff. Like
Oh my gosh.
it's like
Who's the
Grant
dude?
Morrison, like X-Men.
Who's the dude with the rainbow coming out of his butt?
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Professor X.
Professor X had a rainbow coming out of his butt?
That's what it looks
He's
like
wearing that.
to me.
He wears that. He does. He's wearing that helmet. In that.
Oh, I
outfit
see the
in,
X helmet
in
now.
House of X. So.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna have to go look at this picture. I saw them and then I was like, we've seen these before.
Right.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like a mohawk type thing coming out of his back.
Yeah, that's the one way to describe it.
Yeah. So Brad Broyle said, what about that Nightcrawler? And haven't we seen a sculpt that's pretty similar to that already in a Nightcrawler?
What does it look like?
Not
Very
recently.
similar.
Like the old unique.
Not
from,
recently.
like,
We haven't seen one
way
in a
back.
while.
Yeah, that's what I was
saying.
saying. I think in the Fantastic Forces was similar.
Wolverine
It
and
kind of looks
X-Men.
like. Yeah, it looks like the team-based one from Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
It is a new sculpt though, so I do like that.
Nightcrawler is always cool.
Yeah.
Well, which one was the best one? There was one that everyone always talks about how he was just amazing.
Web of
Fantastic
Spider-Man.
Forces. Oh. Skull.
I mean, also the original one was what the original hypersonic piece, like period, or it was like something about him with. I don't know, something about him. Like he was really super awesome good for some reason.
And they just haven't really done him justice since.
I don't know. I remember the Fantastic Forces one because the sculpt was so cool, especially at the time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's always cool.
Yeah. I like it. So, no dials yet, just some pieces. Just some pictures. So, we did get, I don't think it was a preview. I think the House Rules Gaming took a picture from one of the magazines and posted it on their page.
The Spider-Man ones?
Yeah, the Spider-Man ones.
Yeah, that was Game Trade Magazine.
Okay, that was Game Trade Magazine. That explains it.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what is this store that's posting all this stuff? Like, I love them, but it just, like, was out of nowhere. It was cool.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oops.
Yeah, it's kind of like the community is a little split on what we've seen so far of the Spider-Man set. Because everyone loves, I mean, obviously the chases are sweet, but everyone's like, okay, this is supposed to be absolute carnage or something, right? Like, where's the carnages? Where's the Venoms? Like, it just looks like a basic Spider-Man set.
Well, and we've only got 4 figures as well.
Well,
Yeah,
they were upset the chases were.
Yeah, no, we've seen some of the others too, though. Like,
We've only seen like 7 dials. Like, there's obviously stuff. It's just that's just not what they've happened to show first.
Right.
I think it's the same thing, like, with all the Batman villain sets. They always have just Justice League as the chases. I think it's something similar to that.
Yeah, it still feels like it's the Deadpool and the X-Force. I'm getting that sort of vibe from it, though.
I don't know. There's a lot they're going to be able to do with Absolute Carnage because that was just a nutso of a series.
Right.
So the power level.
We know Red Goblin's in it.
Yeah, and that's going to be nuts. We mentioned that on the casual one. That one's going to be. Hopefully they do him justice.
Do who justice?
Red Goblin.
Yeah, Red Goblin.
What is Red Goblin?
It was Green Goblin with Carnage symbiote.
Yeah.
Oh, that
he
sounds
was
awesome.
Badass. Yeah, he was. He was badass.
Yeah,
They've already started setting up the codex keywords, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this set.
Yeah, he was insane. I mean, I don't want to spoil the comic, but he was insanely powerful. Not like cosmic levels, but like
Right.
in Spider-Man verse type levels, he was very, very strong.
So we do get new equipment with this set, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We've
So-
seen
I
one
think
of
there's
them.
a lot of it, isn't it? We've seen 2 of them, right?
2 of them so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of them only works with that one character, but yeah.
Yeah, we just saw the Dimensional Watch, right? Did we see something else?
There's
The
the
garbage
trash.
can for that specific Spider-Man.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
think
right.
he's gonna work. It's gonna work with other characters in the set. Because the Gwenpool has a similar dial.
Right. So, I don't know. Hopefully the equipment is good.
Confirmed the Necro swords. I'm imagining that'll be good.
Oh yeah, all black.
Yep.
Right.
They did that justice when they made Gore.
Mm.
Do we know how many we're getting? 7?
I thought it was 6. I could.
So we've seen 8 dials, 2 objects, and none of
Chases. It's kind of weird.
We've seen 3 of the chases.
It is 7 equipment objects, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, so we've seen 2, so there's a chance for 5 of them, because I don't think the garbage can's that great yet. And then the Dimensional Watch is not that great either.
It's phasing for 5.
Yeah, but the Space Shim's better because it gives you passenger too.
Yeah, but if you only have 5 points, you need phrasing.
If you only have 5 points, I agree.
Yeah,
Wait,
just
why would the garbage can work with anybody else? Because the only effect relates to that one specific Spider-Man.
It says this object. Yeah, it says this object can't be added to your force.
oh,
It also the effect is only related to replacing that
to
one
Spider-Man.
And
Okay,
then-
I wasn't
and
sure
Spider-Man.
because
Anybody else.
Then that tells me that 1/7 of the objects that we're getting in this set are not that useful.
right. I wonder what that Spider-Gwen's dial is then. Because she has like a secondary dial that's not on her card.
That's
Right.
the secret identity mechanic. We already saw it.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, we just haven't seen the Gwen. I don't think we've ever gotten a non-Pog Gwen Stacy, like as Gwen Stacy, so that's interesting.
So,
Yeah, do we want to talk about how good Spider-Man 1776 is?
yeah.
Holy crap.
No, it's the Steampunk Penny
Yes.
is the other good one.
I think she's okay.
She's
Way
okay.
better than I think she's. I won't say she's better than the 1776 because of that nonsense action thing that.
She's also just not better. Like,
well, so let's
his
just
style's
talk.
really good.
Let's talk about 1776 first.
Okay.
So 50 points. First thing is he makes
Well, he's 50 or 75.
50 or 75. He makes soldier a named keyword, which is meh.
I think that's good. Soldier's a good keyword.
Right, so you can play with Red Skull.
Yep.
Yep.
Same team.
Yeah, let's go. Red Skull's now Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 76 gets Hydra. There we go.
He has calling out from the Spider-Verse, which then works with any soldiers that he has. There could be a combo there. That's
Red Skull.
Like Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So he's got leadership. He's got super senses, which is all good for 50 points. He's got a stop click. He's got perplex. I mean, he's getting that super rare Wolverine sort of vibe, right?
Right.
Not unique. So you need more than one of them, maybe. Might need more than one of them. And then the stop has combat reflexes and toughness, so that's all good. Now the big thing is opposing forces have action total -1, minimum 2. And then opposing characters within question mark square, or how many squares? 6 squares, can't use leadership or autonomous. So in general, he's going to take down a force from 4 to 3, and then
it's not a unique modifier, so.
Right, so 2 of them can take down 4 to 2.
Playing 2 of these guys is very much not unreasonable, because he's a good piece. He's got a stop click, he's got perplex, he's got leadership.
Super senses, right? Like we were saying.
Right, super senses.
I gotta say, like, what WizKid's designer just really loves this calling the help from the Spider-Verse power. Like, this is the same one from the set 4 years ago, just worded a little different because of the whole no character has been placed this turn. But besides that, it's the same as the one from the last Spider-Man set. They really like this power, and it didn't really work back then. So,
Nobody
like it worked in sealed maybe, but
even people who played like the Venom chases, like it wasn't that's not why. It wasn't a big reason to use them. It was just sort of like, oh, that's kind of nice sometimes. It seems like it should be really good.
Well, maybe now that everyone has the Spider-Man family keyword with their special traits, maybe it's like, okay, this is it. This power is going to work this time. I know it is.
All right, so I'm going to bring in a hot take. Would in the Cat Marvel Black Widow team do 2 Spider-Man 1776s? Are they better than a Chase Black Widow?
They're not. No. They might be better than a Captain Marvel.
No.
But not Chase Black Widow. No.
Absolutely not. Sorry.
I'm not saying one way or the other. That's why I asked you guys first.
I see what you're saying though, because he could both be carried by them, right? That you get 4. Mm-hmm. It would be pretty overwhelming.
Right.
It's not a bad team. I don't know if it's better than, because she's really good, but it is definitely something that could overwhelm your opponent. It's a lot of perplexes. It's a lot of alpha strike and first attacks and free damage to deal with only 2 actions as a follow-up.
Right.
The problem is that if you play 2 of these, I mean, that gets wiped by Captain Marvel, like the double Captain Marvel team. Like, he doesn't necessarily stop that. He dies very easy to Captain Marvel.
Well, not particularly. You still have to outwit his toughness, then go through him, then pin him, or use your cat to make you have 4 damage.
Yeah.
Right. And he has super senses, and he has 7.
Right, you just outwit his super senses.
But then you gotta deal with the toughness.
Okay.
I don't even,
I don't think the longevity is good enough for the 50 points.
That's
Yeah.
what
Really?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like his mechanic's great, and we're gonna see it a ton, but toughness and super senses, and then that one stock, like I don't know, like outside of that gimmick, and making soldiers Spider-Man family, he's not going to be getting in the fray with charged blades.
He's much harder to kill than 50-point Wolverine was. Because it's better defense with a rollout and one extra click.
Yes.
So I don't see how it's not good enough for 50 points. It's harder to kill than, or it's at least as hard to kill as Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange,
And that was good enough.
Sheriff
Sheriff
Strange.
Strange.
Oh, Sheriff.
So,
But we got into the habit with Sheriff Strange, just like Star Fox. Like, we got in the habit of just being able to just kill him easily. I'm just worried, like Jay said, I'm worried about his longevity at 50 points.
If he was so undercosted that his full dial was 50, I would see it. But just one stop click for 50 points, I just think he's basically, you're paying 50 points for everything that he does before, like you get the trait and you get the keyword thing, but then he doesn't do any attacking ever, and he will just get shot and whatever.
Man, I think he literally compares 1-to-1 to Sheriff Strange in every way, and he's just better on every level. That's what I'm looking at. His special is more restrictive. He's harder to kill. He has just as good keywords. He has just as good power set. I don't see a way, like range, I guess, is the only way that this guy's worse than Doctor Strange. But nobody used him for his range.
So I think
Sheriff
Strange, I'm with you. So I think I would tend to agree more with Tylor here. But it's not an easy choice, right? He's certainly good.
I think the point I'm trying to make is that I think playing 2 is too much of an investment.
Man, I'm just trying to envision in my head playing a team with 2 actions. Like, unless you're playing a tent pole, that is just mind-boggling to me. How you would go about doing that. Like, even like he can alpha strike and your counterattack, you have 2 actions and you have to double tap this guy.
Well, so I mean, I don't really want to put you on the spot the team build, but what else would you put with these 2 Spider-Man? I assume you build Soldier, that's past, and Politician are the other ones. So I assume you build Soldier or Spider-Man. I mean, theoretically, if we're going on the fly, what would you build?
I think Dan's team is really good. Just 2 Cap Widows. Or not, 2 Captain Marvel.
2 Captain Marvel.
You could. So I've been thinking about this one. I think I'm at least have an answer here. Rare Steve Rogers. Hold on. Sorry, that doesn't work. But I mean, I think the 2 chases with 2 Cap Marvels is fine. But your Soldier has a bunch of options.
Yeah. We could do. Is there a Soldier Taxi right now?
There is.
That one Coulson.
Phil Coulson.
Oh, Coulson's so good. I always forget about him. He's so good.
Right. So I mean, Coulson packing in a Captain Marvel, and a home dude, the Spider-Man fella. I don't know. I just think that's potentially really good. So you got Sheriff Steve Rogers, so you can increase your attack value. I don't know. I think there's some potential there. I think there's more to be seen with the set, right? We'll see. I mean, even DC, right, occasionally has some good soldiers.
I was just saying, if it makes Crimson Avenger better, then I'm all for it.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Now's your chance to play Red Skull, Tyler. 2 of these guys in Red Skull. Let's go.
I'll do that.
I mean, to be fair, I mean that's not a bad team.
That's 3 flexes right there.
I mean, even that Orville. In PJ's event, I just won with the Soldier team, which was Red Skull, Commander Kelly Grayson, Lieutenant Gordon Malloy, and a SHIELD agent.
I didn't know you were allowed to play anything in the Orville other than Claire Finn. I thought that was like literally a rule.
Yeah.
Right. So I was able to pull out that. I mean, so I played with some good soldiers, right? At least I thought that they were. Grayson's good, right? So I'd like Spider-Man, Red Skull, Grayson, and Object. Map bonus, pretty good. The leadership map bonus one, or even the mind control map bonus. I'm down. So I would say the one thing Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's also worth noting that because I don't think we said the actual thing of the trait that it makes. What was it? Soldiers gain Spider-Man family.
Yeah.
So you also have access to that keyword, and then if you have another chase that adds to the keywords, like now you can theme with the robot one, you could theme I don't know, Brainiac and random soldiers or I don't know, but it's a Spider-Man set, so we have it's gonna be interesting.
Right. I mean, and then the Miles does police, right?
Yep, yeah. Batman Prime is police. So.
Right. So now Batman Prime is a Spider-Man family with a Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Sheriff Steve Rogers is a soldier and a police.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Now Steampunk Penny, I don't think that she's kind of a squish herself.
Yeah, I just don't think her is good enough to play.
But now, what she does have going for her at 45 points, plasticity is big against Captain Marvel, right? That perplex power can be absolutely game-changing.
Yeah.
She ignores elevated and ignores characters. That's huge. Ignoring characters is always huge.
Yes.
Ignoring characters is always going to be stronger than plasticity. This character automatically breaks away. So she's got a lot going for her. Now, I would say what I'm glad we haven't seen in this set yet, but I almost guarantee that we will, is the plasticity shape change. This character automatically breaks away.
Yep.
I've just been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that. The Venom, the Agent Venom from the Fantastic Four set had the symbiote trait, but I'm just double checking. I'm 99% sure he also was just missing the auto breakaway part.
Oh no!
Oh really? That's the best part.
Yeah.
I opened the wrong thread, but I'm 99% sure. But
hold on, I've got it open. I'll pull it up here. Agent Venom is a super rare? Oh, shit.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I like him. Agent Venom's always.
Adjacent friendly characters can use shape change. That's good. He just has symbiote, plasticity, and shape change.
Aww.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't continue.
Yeah, hopefully not. So yeah, that's what we have coming. Looking forward to soon. But that is not quite what we have at hand at the moment. So at least for 3 of us on the call, we've got nationals coming up. There's a lot to talk about.
I mean, technically, we all do in one way or another.
That's
True.
right. Well, two of Alex and Jay are judging. So
verify all your stupid builds.
I would say I greatly appreciate you guys elevating the prestige and legitimacy of Nationals Online by verifying all of the builds and verifying ownership. Thank y'all very much for your efforts.
Thank you. I have a question about that. So when is Nationals? What's the date? It's like the 20-something?
The 22nd, I think.
22nd of August.
Okay,
And
so
it-
when are builds going to be due?
I believe we talked
know
about
that
that
yet.
Wednesday before.
Did we?
That sounds right.
Midnight of Wednesday before. Like, we have to
Okay,
allow
it's like
a couple days for, like, revisions in case someone sends something in and it's a bogus build for whatever reason. We're allowing
Right.
a little bit of time to, like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's
this
what
is
I
wrong,
figured.
fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd have to do that, and that's just something different to think about because until like all the other nationals, you had until 5 minutes before. Like, so if something changes in the last like 3 days or whatever, just like be ready for
Well,
that.
I mean,
If your build set.
it's you have until 5 minutes before, but also most people, when they're traveling, they confirm their team. Like when
Yeah,
you're
most
going,
people definitely do.
No, for
Uh,
sure, but just like I feel like it's roughly equivalent to I have to travel, I have to basically know what I'm doing. But it's
Yeah,
also it just has to happen practically. Like we can't have everybody sending in builds at midnight on Friday night.
Yeah, and I agree. I knew that was happening, so I knew that this was going to be a thing because most people do have their build set before they travel, but there are some people that like literally decide the night before, the day of.
Oh yeah, it happens. Or people forget to bring stuff to lend to other people that they asked for. Stuff happens, but
Or they
Yeah.
come and be like, "Hey, what's everybody else playing? Oh, I'm gonna change my team," something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Tyler,
it's
this
going
isn't
to
a
be...
question for you personally, is it?
No, nope. I just have to figure out my build.
I mean, we're gonna try to treat it as hard as a date as we can, but we understand if there's super extenuating
Right.
circumstances where it's like I got in a car wreck and I've been in a coma for two days. I need to suddenly turn in my bill.
and then it's like David, you have to stop getting in car accidents, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys being flexible and just communicate with your judges here for sure. So you know what? I think we just got a lot of good questions to talk about in the meta here. I do have I guess I'll call it a speech prepared for God Doom.
Oh boy.
So we'll just build up to that. So Steven Spooner is asking about in the current widow-driven meta, is there still a scenario where Onslaught can see play? He has so much going on, it seems almost criminal if he is nigh unplayable.
He's not unplayable for sure. He's still a good piece. He is though somewhat weak to aggressive teams, and there's a lot of that right now.
Right.
Aggressive close combat.
I think
teams.
I was just gonna say I think it's worth noting that shifting focus Widow to stop his improved targeting, which she's just criminally underplayed. So if you're concerned about that, you might not necessarily need to be as much.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why she not see more play.
So here's my thought on Onslaught is going into Nationals. I think shifting focus Widow goes uptick in play, as does Batman.
That's what I kind of assume that has to happen just because they're so good and they're being underplayed right now.
Right. So
Are you saying shifting focus because of the free comic book day one?
Is she good? I don't
the free
remember.
comic book day one is good though.
But she was like the worst of them, right? Or am I wrong?
No, she's still no. Having
pretty
second
good.
access to second perplex on top tile is amazing because you can use
Yeah.
it 2 times. But I was asking because we don't know what the actual legality date is there. Because has anybody actually had an official free comic book day going on or whatever?
Yeah, we've got them. We've got ours
we
in
did.
hand. Yeah, we've got ours in hand.
No, you had
started
perplex. You already had
15th.
perplex with another Black Widow.
No. I'm saying you want 2 because you can use it both times.
Oh, perplex. Switch perplex? What do you mean?
It doesn't carry
I'm
over
saying
which
because
free actions you've used, right?
yeah, because the only things that carry over on replacement are what having been carried, costed action.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm saying having used perplex isn't one of them. So having a theoretical access to another perplexer to use it twice a turn is theoretically good. And
I
then
don't think that's
shift
that good. You're saying like use it for offense, then attack, then switch, then use like perplex.
doesn't matter. Just having access to 2 perplexes in a turn. Just like
Well, because when you switch it out, it goes away, right?
yeah, but still, like if you use it for 1 attack and then switch and then use it defensively, I don't know. There's definitely applications. It's only
Right.
1 sideline spot. I think it's very well worth just having more options at the cost of just a sideline spot.
Right. Now, of note, she does not have stealth.
Yeah, I didn't think I would play her when I looked at her.
Now, well, so she does have Avengers Initiative, 4 target double bolts, which is unique in the set or the set of 4 or 5 of them.
Right.
She also has Psyblast, which you're not going to convince me that Psyblast is a bad power.
Right.
She does have Super Senses top dial, which is not necessarily unique, but it is a good combo with what she has. So I just think for a sideline spot, she's fine. I think that maybe even she could take the place of the Quake one.
I disagree. I like the Quake one a lot.
You do disagree, but I think that if you're just that tight on space, because the Quake one doesn't have stealth either, and I'm more of a range guy than a close combat guy, but
Fair.
I don't know why you're considering dropping things. Like it's just trouble alerts at that point.
right.
But
I agree.
But in fairness, I will say I used her shifting widow a bunch, and the Quake one was not relevant, really. But
yeah, it's more of
it happened a couple times.
Yeah. It's just more of a counterpiece if you happen to be close to somebody who has equipment.
Yeah, both times she would have been very clutch, except for the fact that my opponents were playing the Chase Widow, and then I just missed. But if she had worked, she would have been incredible.
Right. Now, I mean, I would say that sideline space could be an issue if you're playing Bike Widow, Chase Widow, Shifting Focus Widow, and Trouble Alerts. Maybe.
Yeah. Could be.
Now, she is also I think a great Bike Widow piece, because she comes back up and she heals into some pretty good stats and outwit.
And free incap.
That's right.
Like free incap.
Yeah.
I'm just happy.
Now she is going to at least heal. Will she heal to her second to last click?
Isn't it you go to the last click and then heal half, so she's at least on the second to last. Yeah.
On its last non-KO click. Okay, yeah, so she's at least going to heal up. If I would say she would be almost 100% if it was last KO click, and then you could heal up 1 potentially, because that last click of hers is bomb. It's the same as her first click.
Kind of like the middle one's a little bit better.
Oh, they're all good. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So, how does this all lead into Onslaught? I think Onslaught can be very good. There's 2 examples where I like Onslaught. I like Onslaught on the Onslaught Jason Vulture team. Onslaught being able to move 9 squares or 8, whatever his movement value is.
It's 8.
Being able to move 8, then free TK someone is extremely powerful when combined with a starting line TK. So that gets you 12 squares pretty dang easily. So that I think it's huge for Vulture. I also like him. David Crichton from Canada, I think, has played this team a couple times. I'm kind of a fan of Onslaught Wendigos.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's good.
I don't think I played against that version. Huh.
I'm pretty sure it was David that was playing it.
But he's been playing variations of Double Onslaught. Yeah, it was definitely him if that was the basis. Yeah.
I gave Onslaught a good go. It just, to me, I just died to Alpha Strike. And there's a lot of very aggressive Alpha Strike teams out there.
Right.
And I just don't see a way around it. Because you have rollouts, you have probs, but normally they have enough attacks to get through that. That was the issue I ran into anyway.
Right. No, I agree with you. Now, I think the other thing that is also a negative against him right now is he is protected against Mind Control, Outwit, and Psyblast.
Oh.
Specifically naming Psyblast. Now, if there was a tweak to that said he was immune to penetrating damage, that would be much better. Because you've got Vulcans that pop out, you've got Widow's Initiates that pop out. Now, I think to provide a judgment or a verdict in y'all's opinion, for Steven, is he nigh unplayable?
No, he is not nigh unplayable. I
Definitely.
think there are teams that can fit one of him in, I think, that are out there. I don't think Double Onslaught is playable right now because I do think it's almost an auto loss to certain teams, unless you can find a way in the last 50 points to deal with it. I haven't seen that yet.
Right.
I like Onslaught. I just don't know what matchups he's winning right now.
Right. That's kind of how I am.
Right. The problem is that he also has anything that Marvel can just fly through and deal a pin damage to is getting pretty dang close to unplayable. Right. I mean, it's a lot of the same thing that we talked about with Shredders. Invincible's really key for a lot of this.
He's still obviously a really good piece, and I love him. He's just so fun to play for me. But he doesn't really fit in the meta right now, I guess.
Right.
So I wouldn't say playable, but definitely not on a tier
I have a
1
soft
team.
spot for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think
I love
that. I think the Widow Marvel matchup with double onslaughts or something like that. I think that actually has a good matchup.
I agree. It's not awful.
Right. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? But
I'm more my main issue was if you run into a Micron or a Micron Atom team, they just come up and just kill you.
Right.
Or there's the Superman team coming out. There's well, that one actually doesn't work that well because you get knocked back. But there's that Flash, Batman variant. There's just a lot of stuff that just gets in your face really fast. And I don't know if his mind control is enough to stay out of it.
Right. I mean, you certainly have to use his ability to attack.
Yeah, for sure.
11 for 4, 11 for 3. I mean, he's going to have to start taking shots, taking punches.
Yeah, you can't just sort of mind control or run away, which is where he kind of shines.
Right. And I think you also have to take into account his ability to knock people back. I think that that's pretty criminally underused right now.
Yeah, I mean,
at least when I've seen people play Onslaught.
My favorite thing to do is you phase up, you free mind control as a close, you make them move, and then after resolutions you knock them back 9 squares. It's real funny. So you can position them to be flung off a roof or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that could potentially kill a Widow without activating her.
Oh, does
What do you
knockback do that?
No, her healing procs no matter what.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was asked this already.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Because it's when it's first revealed.
Yeah, exactly. It's not based on the stop mechanic. It's just you are clicking through the dot, and then
right.
it's
So then let me ask this question then, Jay. What does get past her stop click without it going off?
I don't think anything, right? If it's first revealed.
If her stop click or if that power exists, I don't think there's anything unless you can do like.
No, you would have to have a way to outwit it before you get to it. Which
I don't even know how that would interact with unavoidable. I guess unavoidable but I don't know what's dealing to unavoidable. So.
Right, so nothing's dealing too unavoidable. So like, Chase Thanos can outwit it with his perplex thing, right? So that works.
You'd have to be playing like 200 point Doctor Doom.
Point of order. Point of order. There is something that could deal almost 6 unavoidable damage, technically. That's the title Reed Richards that we're about to get.
yeah. Wait, is it separate instances of 6 unavoidable damage?
It's just you roll d6 and then deal that much of unavoidable damage. So it would still stop at the stop click because the stop click appears. It just doesn't bypass it. But
I don't know what the interaction would be.
If that was actually viable, period, and you could get her one click in, and roll the 6, it's
right.
It's a very theoretical.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, kind of thing.
Nobody's not playing Widow because of that interaction.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess like Chase Green. I mean, of course, Elseworlds Green Arrow got rid of it, but he's gone. Surtur got rid of it, but he's gone.
Black Widow, the other one.
No, it just stops. It would
Yeah, I
stop
thought you just said standard. Special
Yeah, just standard powers.
Wasn't sure. I haven't played her in a hot minute.
Yeah.
There is something, isn't there?
I thought there was something else that was coming out.
I'll look it up. You guys go ahead.
There's probably nothing. When is Fantastic Four's legal date?
So it comes out this Wednesday, the 22nd. I keep saying the 22nd, like just for everything. It's the 22nd, so it'll be legal the 29th for events. So it won't be legal for Indiana states.
Okay.
It was Finn Balor, by the way.
Yes, Finn Balor. But I guess can Finn do it from top click?
Well, I don't. Does he? It's like Green Arrow. They just can't use it until their next turn.
Oh, okay. So you just hit her and then
Starter.
Yeah, he deals 3 on his own. Oh, and he has slingshot, so he can even knock her back through the. So all on his own, he could actually do damage, and then you set the hitter, on a 10 defense.
Now, is a stop click considered a power?
Yeah,
it's a
defense
power. It's not a sting
power. So I guess he could actually do it all on his own.
Yeah, so it's Finn Balor with a triple perplexed attack, 11 on a 20, without perplexes to an attack, and then knock her back into a wall. Let's go.
Now, what
I was saying is he has slingshot, so he could get a free attack. So
Dan, was this all secretly a build-up so you could talk about God Emperor Doom? Because he also makes it other characters can't use powers.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So I want to talk a little bit more about the Gauntlet, which so Josh Parlin or a lot of people asked about this. So Joe Ramirez, what is your idea for Gauntlet heading into Nats? So what is our? I said Widows 4 ways, I think. So Marvel Widow, Widow Marvel Shifty Widow Happy Hogan Nightbringer ring. That was 2. Widow Bike Widow. What did Caleb play, Alex? It was
I was
Widow.
just gonna say Widow Shifting.
Yeah. we need to clarify. We mean Chase Widow, Shifting Widow, Bike Widow.
Right. So when I just say Widow, I mean Chase Widow. So it was Widow, Bike Widow, right?
Yeah.
Right, with
Caleb
Happy
played
Hogan.
two chases. Oh,
No. He played me in PJ's event, I think. That
Yeah.
was so long ago. But he
he
played
also
Bike
won
Widow.
a win a map with
Yeah.
two chases, shifting Widow, and then I think the equipments were Specs and Space.
Yes, he did. But he moved past that to Bike Widow. Widow, Bike
Yeah,
Widow.
and let me just say, I think people are sleeping on Bike Widow because not a lot of people have it. I don't think. Still, not every store got Bike Widow.
Right.
But it is a very good piece and one you need to prep for when you prep for all the Widow teams. It is definitely one that's going to be there because that whole hypersonic, I get to place you through something I move through. It'd be very dangerous considering she ignores characters. So
She has she deals a pen or something, right? Too.
I think it's one or the other, or she does both. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's you move through and then you place them in any squares you move through after the attack, and if you do that, then you deal them one pen. And so the combo is you do that, and then you put them right next to a bunch of Widow recruits who are just sitting there, and you have all this pen poison damage to just go through your dial after you already take 3 from her attack. So
that is so fun. I love HeroClix right now.
It's a really good piece. Like I was surprised, and like you mentioned earlier with a couple other pieces, improved movement characters is just not fun when you're facing against it because it's like, all right, I'm just gonna sidestep carry everybody away now.
Right.
You can't do anything. Sorry.
Now, was he giving Bike Widow the Space Gem?
He did, yes, because Bike Widow also has the free move at the beginning of the turn. So she could just free move out there and equip turn 1. And he played Bike Widow and Shifting Focus as her time to get off the bike thing.
Right.
And you get to choose during force construction which one you want to use. And so he usually chose the bike one just so the bike gets destroyed, the other bike comes in and then has the opportunity to free move once again because it's a different bike. So
I think I'm gonna have a stroke because I'm hearing a lot of what he used a bike to replace with a bike.
Yeah,
yes,
you can.
You cannot. You can't replace a character with a character of the same collector number. That's why you couldn't infinite Kirk.
I thought we talked about this.
No, you cannot. It's been
No, I'm saying I agree. I thought we talked about this in our group chat the other day.
Yeah, so if he was replacing hold on.
Yes, if you do things that are not legal, there are a lot of good teams out there.
No
offense to Caleb. That's a very obscure thing.
Where is it that you can't replace with the same thing?
It's in the rules about
it's somewhere. Yeah, just somewhere in replacement in one of the 2 rules documents.
Yeah,
Something like you can't replace a character with a character of the same like name and collector number or something.
Oh.
Well, if you did that, then yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I don't think it ultimately mattered. I think he either went to the same one or went to a different one. I don't honestly remember. But
also, wait, you designate during force construction?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so it is in the replacement. Yeah, never mind. You can't do that. But you can do the shifting focus ones, which are just fine.
Yeah.
Well, which shifting focus then?
I like the free comic book day one. We just talked about that.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious. Because I also just want to make sure now that we're talking about stuff that people know that you also cannot shifting focus. Like, if you replace with a shifting focus Widow, that Widow cannot use shifting focus.
Right.
I just want to make sure now that we're talking about things that are illegal.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, you can't replace the Bike Widow with the Bike Widow.
Okay.
But shifting focus, I want to be clear. The only reason you can't do it with shifting focus is because if Black Widow began the turn on the map, all the shifting focus pieces have that trait as part of their trait. That's not a limitation of replacement characters.
No, it's because you have to.
It's the same reason why It's the same reason why you can't go to garbage Spider-Man to replacement Spider-Man back to garbage. Like,
that's true.
Okay, so you are putting Black Widow on the bike on your main force. You then choose a Black Widow and you put on your sideline and you designate it for the time to get off the bike or whatever it's called. That is
Yeah.
the only effect that the character can
Right.
be brought in from or put back in the sideline for.
No,
So-
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm just saying if you replace time to get off the bike with a shifting focus widow, you can't then in that same turn replace that widow because the shifting focus trait says that they have to begin the turn
No,
on the map.
You can't.
So
You
that's
can't
what,
do it for the rest of the game.
that's what I was going for. You cannot do it at all because you bike widow during force construction. You say this widow is for the replacement for the bike.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you can only
You have to
enter
pick
or re-enter
either
the
of
sideline for an effect. So you are designating that widow for that bike effect, and therefore she cannot enter or re-enter the sideline for any other effect.
You basically have to assign
Okay.
why a character is on your sideline at the start of the game.
Okay,
Right.
I'm picking
Yeah.
up what
It's the
y'all are
same
putting down
reason.
now.
It's the same reason why if you have a character that is a trouble alert and a bystander, you cannot use it both for Jason Wingard and as an actual trouble alert.
Yeah, but you can't.
That's right.
Can you do two on your sideline? You can, right? Like you could do two separate figures on your sideline, one for Jason and one for a trouble alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay the sideline slot.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to use.
Right.
Same with in this scenario. You can play all the shifting focus, but then you'd have to play a separate shifting focus
Right.
for the bike.
Yep.
boy.
Right. Yeah. So
Bike is still really good though. Besides,
Yeah, it is.
and then the last one of the Widow Gauntlet is just like Widow Immortal Hulk. Well, there's another variant. There's like Widow Immortal Hulk. Just any infinite number of Avengers.
Yeah.
And then there's also the version that Brandon Collette played, which was Cap Marvel, Widow, Micron, and Steve Rogers.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
because Micron is a standard character. We talk about him changing size and going up and down and all around. But oddly enough, Micron is just a standard character to start out with. So I think what I like I don't want to say this right. I'm not a fan of Chase Widow. However, I'm pretty much on the Chase Widow train because she is entirely too powerful, I think, to not play.
She's very, very good.
And so this goes back to a lot of things that I've, you all have heard me say, the people on the call and then the listeners have heard me say on time and time again, a team that can beat Widow, say at a 50-50 or better chance, that is entirely hard to play for the rest of the day, is going to be hard to play for Nationals. Because your brain has to be on all day. And if Widow messes up and you roll a 4, you're like, all right, here comes Finn Balor, gonna wreck your shit. Here I come. I need a 5. Roll a 4, you're out.
Yep.
So it's very forgiving. And Jason, you've been on mute this whole time, by the way.
I'm well aware of that fact. I've been dealing with children.
That's fine. So I want to be clear that the Widow variants have a lot of intricacies, and they're not just a pick up and play team, but it is very hard to kill, and it is forgiving.
Yeah, for sure.
So now that's the gauntlet. That I think that's the number.
Wait.
That's the big gauntlet, right?
The Widow Gauntlet. There are other teams.
There are other teams, but
that's the power gem.
I think that if like your team doesn't pass the Widow Gauntlet, that's saying that you can't even put the gauntlet on your hand.
Yeah. Sure.
Right? If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. So.
Or you could just roll that. You can roll the dice and hope you don't ever face a Widow. That happened to be at Nats 2 years ago. Everyone was prepping for, or no, it was last year. Everyone was prepping for Wolverines.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, 20. I didn't face a single Wolverine team the entire time. I prepped so hard for the matchup. Didn't face a single one.
Yeah.
And it just roll the dice. So.
Right.
Other teams, you got to look out for Batman Justice League, obviously.
Batman Prime, right?
Yeah. There's a
So,
lot
like-
of different variants out of there.
Do you want to cover the ones that you're aware of, and I'll add mine?
Yeah, the basic one, the standard team I always go back to is Batman Prime, Martian Manhunter,
From the starter.
Yep, 2 Wonder Twins, 3 Billies, and then the Dark Fates. Another one I saw somebody run was with the Flash, the starter Flash instead of Manhunter. I like that one. There's a few out there with the starter Superman, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
there's also the Kenny version with Kenny Minx with Zatanna, and the Bat Pogs and that.
And
sort
Waller.
of thing. Yeah, Waller.
Yeah, I've seen Waller out there too.
Yeah, I played a version with one Wonder Twin and more Fates and the Exospecs. I really like the Exospecs version.
That. There's the Micron Alpha, whether it's themed or unthemed.
Well, hold on. We're still in the Batman Gauntlet.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then those are the only ones I know.
So Batman,
Unthemed.
Batman on Unthemed.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think that's just as good as anything, right? Just as a 40-point potentially wreck your shit piece.
I think Lucas played that, or DJ played that.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
Lucas
that.
turned
Lucas
his
played it.
unthemed Hulk
Yeah.
into. He added that because if he has Tri-Sentinel, so when he loses map, the opponent has to either give him a Batman map or a Tri-Sentinel map. So
That's kind of cool.
hedging your bets is good.
Yep. And then there's the Batman as a shield agent or a Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Now haven't been quite as successful yet, but I mean that's still an option, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, because you could play that team we just talked about with Widow, and instead of Micron, you could play Batman Prime.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
he is good enough.
So, I mean, it's fine, right?
Yeah, just Batman with no help is totally fine. Don't equip him, don't try to get him to click 3 or whatever. Just like full map, mind controller, and cap at 12 attacks. Totally fine.
I mean, he's the same points as the Skull, but his mind control is infinite instead of one character. Like
Right.
the Skull got played, and
Yep. Yeah.
So Batman's Gauntlet number 2, essentially. Even though we're already up to like 9 different teams.
Right.
And then you were going to go with Justice League.
Or I was just gonna go with Micron Alpha in general. There's a lot of different versions.
There is themed and unthemed, right?
Yeah, there's themed.
Yes.
I've seen Jason Micron.
Right, Jason Micron team's a thing.
Duke Thomas. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Duke Thomas. Oh man.
Yeah, Duke Thomas is all that. And then there's just Jason teams, right? Still, like he I can't remember in one of the top 4 wasn't there like 2 Jason teams and only 1 Widow team? And I can't remember which event it was, but he's still placing top. Jason's still very good.
Unthemed or themed?
I think it was unthemed.
Yeah, I at one point was playing basically Highlander, or it was basically Hellfire theme, but then I was like, oh, I just want Duke Thomas and Q. It was like still fine. And I still had like the Tri-Sentinel, whatever, but like yeah.
Unthemed Jason won the Chicago event.
Oh, cute.
Oh, okay.
With Micron.
All right, so
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
So we're up to 4 teams. We're up to the Widow teams, the Batman Prime teams, the Micron Alpha Strike, and the Wingard teams.
and there's a lot of overlap between these 4 teams.
I have another one.
Okay. What's your gauntlet?
The one I like most, and that's robot teams.
I would consider that a B team.
It's
No.
It won.
Alabama State's.
And it came in top
B
4.
teams can win Alabama States.
So
Or just states in general, not just
so
on
the
Alabama.
the robot team. To clarify what the robot team is, it's Danger Room Magneto, Danger Room Sinister, Cyclops Sentinel, and then everything else you could go between Chase Ultron, 40-point Amazo, Isaac. You could switch. Basically, all 3 of those are interchangeable. You usually have uncommon Superman, the 10-point one from JLU, to pick up your objects, and you usually have a Brainiac on there too, and maybe a Tri-Sentinel. But it's one that has a lot of different pieces you can switch out and figure out which one you like most.
Mhm.
Amazo's worse against Chase Widow, but you're mostly using Widow. You're using Amazo for support. Yeah, so it's not that bad. Your main damage dealers are Magneto, Cyclops Sentinel, and Sinister. Are your main people in that.
I think.
what were you going to say, Jay?
I was just gonna say, I think whatever version Easton played, I think what he did have Ultron.
No, he played. So he played with 40-point Amazo. He did not play with team-up cards and went with a sideline.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I think if his version had Ultron on it at some.
No.
Like, oh no.
No. Easton's version was Psych Sentinel, Danger Room Mags, Danger Room Sinister, Amazo, Superman, Brainiac, and then there was one other, the Tri-Sentinel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Isaac.
Yeah, because at one point.
And then Isaac. Isaac was the last piece that brought it up.
Oh, okay. So it was basically Easton and PJ had the same team, except one of them is using Isaac, one of them is using Ultron.
Yeah, they were working on it together.
Yeah,
yes.
That was the whole point I was going for.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac is definitely a top tier support piece as well. Just saying.
But the key
and then Bezo gets barrier access from it, so that's cool.
The key thing with robots, and it kind of goes along with, I guess, the next team, which would be Immortal Hulk teams, would be the don't die capacity of Magneto, Sinister, and Immortal Hulk. Like, for robots, the fact that Magneto and Sinister just takes forever to kill them is you have to plan for that, because they can still, even though you might think, oh, they only do 1 damage, well, they'll keep doing 1 damage too, yeah. And you got to keep in mind, Magneto typically is played with Exo, so he does a lot more. He does more damage because he running shot pulse waves and knocks you back into everything, and you get knocked back no matter what. So
plus influence on Sinister, right? So
yeah, which is super good. Like, influence ring is one of those you think of mostly to get Hulk off a stop click. It is such a good ring just in general because so many figures rely purely on shape changes, super senses, like the Widow recruits. It's just too bad I'd knock you back in the wall. Like Mr. Oz, like he's another
random
one.
Q killing is the thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I come in, phase in, influence ring, and you're dead. See ya. Sinister also has outwit, so he phases in, outwits, and knocks you back. So
that exact reason
with improved targeting.
Yeah, that's really good with outwit.
Yeah, Minister Sinister. I can't believe I would ever say this. Like, for the second.
Did you say Minister Sinister?
No, Mr. Sinister. Okay. He is probably one of my top 3 favorite figures in the meta right now. He's just so versatile.
Yeah, he is, and he has outwit that ignores hindering too.
Yeah.
One of the few, which is huge. Not that helps in the Shifting Widow matchup, but it does help in all the other matchups.
Yep. Yeah. Fair points.
So, I think Robot is just as good up there. I personally think you need some sort of time gem on it. Just a personal opinion.
One day after Nats, when Nats is over, you won't have to worry about that because you'll have theme team props. So
That's right, Spider-Man family. Let's go.
yeah, after Nationals.
Yeah, after Nationals. So I think before we can go do Immortal Hulk because I want to do God Doom last. So y'all just let me know when you're done. We'll do God Doom. So Immortal Hulk, more so unthemed than themed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's okay.
I mean, the key thing with the Immortal Hulk team, because I played it a lot during the Chicago event, taking away the influence ring is huge. Not every team has the capability of doing that, but it is, and the team in general is what I mentioned before: Danger Room Magneto, Danger Room Sinister, Immortal Hulk, Ace from JLU, and 2x2 Magneto. And there's other variants. Lucas has some other variants he does. There's a lot of different ways you could play Immortal Hulk. He's just one of those figures that people were like, oh, IDs are gone, so he's no good. But he's the opposite. He's even more dangerous now because ID figures, I think, almost put him in his place a little bit more. Now it's like, no. It's like if you could keep the object away, then you get essentially 2 turns before he's going to start going after you. So.
Yeah.
Do people actually still say that? Like at this point, like is it not?
Not at this point.
No,
not at this point.
Okay.
But but then again, you have a lot of people who might listen to the show and they don't play online. So remember that like online play has been the only play outside of these recent states since like March. So you have some people just coming back to the meta that are like, Immortal Hulk rotation hit. He can't be good.
Yeah, Immortal Hulk is definitely good post rotation.
Yeah.
So, what else do we want to talk about on Hulk? Anything else, really?
No, he's good.
Just keep the object away from him, or don't be surprised if you see someone try like a starter Flash team with him. You could do that.
Starter. Oh, to hit because he can hit him.
Yeah, starter Flash could technically get him off his. Because the problem is
activate him.
Yeah, Widow teams can steal the object easy. So starter Flash can negate that because you don't even need the object. You could he runs through your character and hits him. And he's easy to hit because he's like a 15 nothing, I think, on his Bruce Banner click. So
yeah.
I'm not saying that. No, I haven't seen that team yet, but
it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Sure.
I did play. I tried Avengers for a couple events, but just so many Widows and so many dice rolls not happening. I tried Hulk with Nightbringer, Shifting Focus Widow, Happy, Captain Marvel, and Influence Ring. But I could see the merit in switching.
Nightbringer?
I did.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because widowing his charge or outwitting his charge, even though he has like a stop click and whatever, he still doesn't like outwit, especially also Widow saying no invincible and just murder. But I could see Black Widow Chase being a differently good way to go about it. Although I didn't realize until somebody pointed out that stealth does matter. Basically, if your friendly characters have stealth, that will mean Immortal Hulk can't actually draw a line of fire to them for the vengeance tokens because stealth is just lines of fire. Period.
No, stealth is on their turn.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so it doesn't matter.
No,
stealth is only active on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, I'm saying when your opponent attacks your friendly character with stealth,
it's stealth. So you don't have line of fire to it.
Yeah, it doesn't say like opposing or friendly, whatever. It just says lines of fire are blocked.
That is interesting.
That does actually matter.
Oh, so you're saying that if I'm playing if I have a Hulk, and like my Mr. Sinister setting in stealth,
Yes.
and you go up there and try to wreck him.
Yep. The stealth will be a problem for Hulk.
So wait a minute. So how do you prob in a friendly character in stealth?
But you're not drawing line of fire to your friendly.
Yeah,
You are if they're attacking. No, wait. No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're not ever.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
You're drawing line of fire to the opposing character for prob.
Your own character's
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So if I mind control one of my friendly characters is mind controlled and I want to prob it when it makes an attack, I can't. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Okay. You got this. We're going down the choo-choo train here today, boys. This is definitely Thomas the Dank Engine.
Yeah, I never considered that.
It never comes up. I played it wrong. So
Yeah.
Dang. All right, I'm going to give my opponent all stealth when they're playing Hulk. I'm going to scribble in black movement powers.
Is there any other teams that you guys can think of? I'm kind of drawing a blank outside of the random team.
I mean, Medusa is another, Alpha Strike thing, but if you're just
there is enough good pieces in Fantastic Four that they will see play, and it is not solved yet, so it's very exciting.
Right, it is exciting. So, Jason, do you have anything to add before we go to God Doom?
No, I'm just waiting to hear your God Doom rant. No,
so it's not a rant necessarily. It's a.
What do you call it a rant?
I said a speech.
You said speech. You did say
I'm sorry.
Speech.
Your God Doom manifesto. I'm saying.
It's not a manifesto. That's for another day.
No, I'm pretty sure it is, but okay.
So, sorry, hold on. The other days for the another days of Death Note. God Doom at 100 points. Okay, he does ignore hindering. He can shoot out of adjacency. He can turn off the effect of equipment on a character within range of line of fire. That's 9 squares. Turn off the effect of an equipment. That's huge. And I'm just thinking about what I'm familiar with, and that's cosmic. Okay? So for just 100 points, you can have God Emperor Doom, 3 Dark Phoenixes, Q, random other cosmic stuff, and Venom symbiote. I think the Venom symbiote and body blocking is going to be your key to beating the Captain Marvel matchups, because if not, yes, he can just be flown through, hypersonic punched, and pin damaged. Yes, that is all entirely bad. But heaven forbid if you can't body block, get a Venom symbiote on that guy, keep him from getting his plasticity taken away from that, and then allow him to get his first strike off. He's 12 for 4, running shot pulse wave, ignores hindering, so he can easily, it depends on positioning, right? There's a lot of things that matter here, okay? But what does matter is he has pulse wave, it is printed, he has prob, he can delete a shifting focus widow, because pulse wave turns off their smoke cloud thing. Even if they're setting in there, it would turn off their it would turn off because you draw the circle turn off abilities, then draw lines of fire. So it would turn off that character's stealth. So if they've got someone else setting in the smoke cloud, Doom can running shot pulse wave them. Good abilities to just starting out with. 2 stop clicks with still energy, with minions of Doom. So he can KO a standard character, steal energy, heal back up, or if another standard character is KO'd by someone else with minions, or whatever, however minions works, he heals up again. So I think a lot of his weaknesses can be played around. So what else is neat? Cosmic. His special attack power. Everyone's big on this guy. Close. It's a close, make a close attack. All other characters can't use powers during that attack. Okay? If you're playing with Q Prime, traits can still be used during that attack. Q's ability to replace die is a trait. Now, Black Widow's ability, if you roll a 4, is also a trait. So if you have a good die loaded on Q, you can hit Widow with a close attack because it's going to be an 11 on an 18. You've got your own perplex to use. Q's going to be there backing you up with his replace a die. So it's entirely possible that you could one-shot a Widow that away. Now, I think with a lot of different cosmic pieces, you do have the ability to win map, because Widow at her highest is about a +5. The team is exorbitantly more expensive than the Widow team. Let's just be clear here. It's exorbitantly more expensive than the team. But in short, God Doom has weaknesses that can be played around, but it's a little bit harder team. But I think you definitely have good upsides versus Widow. And I think he's also got colossal stamina, so he can just keep going. That's always crazy good. Leadership, right? Cosmic desperately needed leadership. He's got that. I think on the mystical theme teams, Doctor Strange was being used, or Sheriff Strange was being used a lot on mystical. I think he brings a lot to the Wendigo Swarms teams with Tri-Sentinels and Wendigos. That's huge. Even if he just kind of sits in the back and supports the Wendigo Swarms. That's not even talking about like the possibilities. Latveria with the other chases and what else is in the set. I don't even have that one solved. Good, go for it. Scientist, armor, ruler. So many great possibilities there. But Cosmic, I think, is super good. Mystical, super great. Ruler's probably a good, solid third. So for what it's worth, John Waters asked about Fantastic Four. Jordan Ray Gardner asked about God Emperor Doom. And then Amelia Oliveira did ask about God Emperor Doom at 200 points. I don't really see it at 200 points. If he had Stop Clicks Mid-Dial for 200, yes. But the Pulse Wave is so good at 100. And then the last question that Emmanuel had was Soul Gem, make him a current Stronger Don't Die piece. I think that depends on whether or not you can get plasticity on your team, Emmanuel, for the Captain Marvel matchup. So that is my God Emperor Doom speech.
Okay. So you think he's good enough to be played in Nats?
Yes.
I
think he becomes the now the team is exorbitantly more expensive than any other team, because you're playing Brainiac's main force, you're playing Q Prime main force. You're talking God Emperor Doom's up for pre-order for like $190, just call it $200. Q Prime's what, $300?
If you can get it. I think one just sold for like $350.
Oh
yeah,
my
so So there's 500. If you need
Pretty
two
careful.
Brainiacs on the main force, that's 100. Let's just call it 100 just for easy math. That's $700.
What a Dark Phoenix is like at least 70 or so in that range.
They're $60 a piece. So 3 of those, that's another 180. Just call that
Stop.
$200. You're at like $900 right now.
You hurt me.
So, I mean, it is. I get it, and maybe that's what makes it unplayable is the fact that it's so damn expensive. I can't even play that team. I only own 4 Brainiacs.
Wow.
Only.
Wait,
So
how many Brainiacs do you need, did you say?
Well, I just acquired another one today, but so hold on. That's not even including the Brainiacs you need on the sideline.
Yeah.
So Widow and God Doom have equal amounts of cost on the sideline for optimal sideline play. So I'm just talking about main force. You're close to $1,000, and main force for Widow Marvel is like $150, $150 to $200.
Right.
So
That
it just comes down to how bad you want to beat those widows.
I mean, I'm still of the opinion that cost is not a question if we're just talking about, if the team is good or bad. Like, yes, it could be a problem. But if we're just talking about figure analysis, I think it's whatever. Also,
I agree, but I'm just taking it one step a little further there. Yeah.
I feel like this event is also kind of easier to borrow than like actual in-person events because like I can lend somebody a queue and they don't have to touch it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, I mean, the borrowing question is just a whole other thing. But I think that being able to borrow internationally, whatever, I mean, obviously there really are only so many Brainiacs to go around, but
Right.
So, but I basically agree with you. I remember talking to you about like what even has printed Pulse Wave.
Yeah, Pulse Wave is very good right now.
I don't necessarily agree in your exact team comp specifically, or even that necessarily he is that good for this event, but I think that dial will be playable at some point at least. But I think there is something to be built around, like there is definitely something there with all those keywords and like all that stuff. So yeah, for sure. And also, you're going to be out theming Widow by a significant margin, so you're not worried about losing your objects and stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that maybe that's the exact team comp. That's just kind of the base that comes to my mind.
Oh no!
Right.
I agree. You
because
sound like very specific at that point, but yeah.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Right, is like here's why I think that 3 Dark Phoenixes are good, or even multiple retails are good. Is that you want to have like a Dark Phoenix in one corner, you want to have a Dark Phoenix in the other corner, to where they're spreading their forces to take shots at them, or they're getting retailed on.
Yeah, so, I also just I mean, I don't know if you want to play this force on King's Tomb specifically. God Tomb can fly, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if you're talking about the Widow matchup, I think that, like, playing on King's Tomb can be really annoying for them because there's not, like, clear paths. They're not phasing. So you have, and then Brainiac does the annoying elevated stuff. And then you have Dark Phoenix who attacks without line of fire. And then, hopefully, the walls and stuff should make single target pulse waves even easier to make happen. So,
yep.
I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, I think main force Brainiacs and King's Tomb is a solid base to start out with versus any team right now, really.
Yeah, I was trying to build with just the starting premise of Brainiacs and Phoenixes on King's Tomb.
Yeah. Now, I think like I was saying, I think the big thing where that comes into play is, where that comes into play is Doom provides cosmic leadership, and we just don't have that anywhere else. I mean, Prez Ricard, but that's not really a great choice in this situation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just. My initial thoughts on God Doom was that he wasn't good enough. He was a cool. At first, he's a super cool figure. All his powers are cool. He's got cool powers and stuff. But the more I looked at him, he has a lot that works in his favor. Colossal stamina is huge. I love seeing that. It just makes the character so much better. His improved targeting is really good. There's just other stuff that I can't remember exactly. Those two things are very big. I wish if he had improved move characters, I would be all on board with him, because it might be too easy to tie him up.
Right.
But
I agree with that one.
Yeah, I think he's probably good enough to see play. I would have to see the team though. There's a lot of keyword support for him in the new set. There's a lot. Like Latveria is a very strong keyword, right? You got all the chases. You got Franklin Richards is insane. Other stuff like Doombots are just really good with him because they have give him pseudo mastermind.
Well, plus the actual mastermind that we only just saw yesterday.
Oh, the map.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's he has a lot working in his favor, I will say.
Sure.
I also realize that map is just really good, just in general for that, but also it's a really good map for opponent object interaction sort of thing.
Right, because
yeah.
In addition to because you're placing them down the map or whatever. I don't have to lay it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that no matter where you place them, they should be able to move enough to do it. In addition to the fact that it's so awesome for the Doom Mastermind or whatever. Although
are they autonomous or not?
No, but I also just realized I think you don't get the 6 because I think the name requirement is because it's actual Doctor Doom.
It's still good. It just
it's
not.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like Dan was talking about, that is also more bodies to body block with.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Right. So yeah, like I said, I think there's a lot of upsides to God Emperor Doom that just aren't fully fleshed out yet. Yeah. So hold on a second. I wanted to just count this up because Latveria. So you've got the common Doctor Doom with Latveria. You got the Doombot. So how does the Doombot give him pseudo mastermind?
It has the effect where if he can become the target of an dead thing, but you have to be a viable. You can't just sit in the starting area. You have to actually be an otherwise legal potential target. Basically.
I see that now. Wow.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if they could just not break theme with any Doom, but what can you do?
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Latveria is a very good keyword.
So they have to have Latveria and Ruler. That's funny. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it works with all the other chases in the set, I think, right?
Right. So
no, the kids don't. That'll be kids.
Yeah. So there's
they don't have Ruler. Sure.
Yeah, the unique Doctor Doom, which is the Franklin or the unique Doctor Doom. Sorry. And then there's the Valerie Richards, the uncommon. Then there's Dr. Fantastic. And then there's the Title Doom, God Emperor Doom. And that's it with Latveria. That's my Franklin Von Doom. Sorry, yeah, there's 9. I think
Mr.
9.
Fantastic, right? Has it?
I'd set him.
Do you guys think Mr. Fantastic or Mr. What am I thinking of? Dr. Fantastic. Do you think he's good enough?
In and of himself, or the Jason interaction?
Just playing him by himself, is good.
That Doombot trait is a thing to consider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It remains to be seen.
I also think there needs to be a clarification on because Franklin dies at the end of an action where there's no Dr. Fantastic, but Dr. Fantastic can push and die to use that power on the last click because he just doesn't have willpower. I think that still needs to be clarified. If that how that works. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hold on. Well, isn't...
Because Franklin
But,
says after the resolution of any action where there's no Doctor Fantastic. So the question is, how does the order work with the pushing? Like pushing is also immediate. It's like when do you check for after resolutions or whatever? You know, there just
well,
needs to be clarification on
it's
both those.
immediately, right? I mean, that's the willpower is immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because inherently, Doctor Fantastic can push to death to use that power because it's on his last click and he doesn't have willpower. So
So, I mean, that would mean he would be gone, right? Dr. Franklin Galactus would just plop out and go away.
Right. The question is if that was intended or what the timing actually is on, like, I'm just saying there needs to be, like, it needs to be clarified no matter what.
Sure. I think that Dr. Fantastic is probably good enough with Jason.
Okay. I mean, it's 12 for 5. It's not bad after being carried.
I mean, I think the Jason interaction. I mean, and then Dr. Fantastic can use Perplex twice.
And he's a 19 already, so good luck hitting him on the approach.
Right.
With Invincible. Now, he can be outwitted.
Nope.
I think that's probably the biggest drawback of him.
True.
Well, the question is how much does his printed cell, like, account for there?
Yeah, for sure.
Correct, yeah. But, I mean, there's some really, really good rulers out there.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, I guess the question is who has a really long carry and ruler.
That I think that was a problem I had when I was trying to build ruler, actually. So
Really?
Yeah.
they're just.
I mean, there's like eight with sidestep, but it's probably
there's
not.
like it's just I think there's like technically the Justice Lord's Green Lantern. Like it's not it's not really there though. But scientists, I think scientists is theoretically considerable.
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh, or just, you know what? Honestly, if you can't get what you want, there's probably nothing wrong with playing Franklin and Jason together on an unthemed team.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that leaves you 160, 120 points to do something else with.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good stuff in this set that, like, I mean, Super Skrull is really good. 50-point Super Skrull is really good. Especially with the new Skrull TA.
Yeah, have you looked at the Skrull General?
No.
So,
Skrull General has a trait that says when friendly characters that use shape changes succeed, the attacker can't choose a new target with the Skrull keyword.
So, Jeremy Christie asked, what are the best wildcard characters to make use of the Skrulls TA, and what's the best Skrull addition to a team to give them access to it?
Probably PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure. That's really good.
Jason just went, scrat, you just gave away my team.
Yeah, well, you can.
Tyler's,
Well, Super Skrull has shape change starting out, so they can all have 4 through 6 super senses, and if one of them hits it, you can't target the rest of the team. Like,
yeah, that seems okay. Not bad.
Oh, Super Skrull has Soldier, so he can go on those teams, unless that was the whole point of the question.
Well,
no, I think he's saying so. His question was what wild cards could use the Skrull TA to best benefit from it, and that was PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, PS4 Spider-Man. Yeah.
Well, I just realized that he works with.
He works with 1776. You can
Damn.
play him in PS4 Spidey and the Skrull General, and
wow.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just so much good stuff in this set and in general that, like, does Franklin even actually see play? Like, significant? Like, he is that good, but, like...
Franklin Richards? The 65-point one?
Either, I guess. But, like, I was thinking the Chase. Like, obviously both should and will, but, like, I feel like there's just so much good stuff already, and, like, the stuff in this set is so obviously good that I feel like there's going to be stuff that gets left behind. Just
Holy crap, Jason, that's really good.
Yeah, you can play 5 Super Skrulls and a Skrull General.
Yeah, and just if you get a 4 through 6 shape change, they can't attack you.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait a minute. Yeah, and then you would get 5. You would get 5 free barriers.
Yeah. They all can. Yeah. They all get super senses on one of their. They can pick super senses too, so they have super senses shape
Skrull is
change.
so good. Super senses imper or shape change imper.
Yeah, you just slap
I think-
a Remaker or a Venom symbiote on the Skrull General, and then he'll
Holy
have 4 through
shit.
6 super senses too.
Damn it, Jason! I wouldn't want to have to get 5 Super Skrulls.
Even on their quote unquote like offensive like turns where they go off, like they're picking Mr. Fantastic and the Thing, so they're gonna have super senses imperv super or shape change. So like it's really good.
Oh, are you
Like-
kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, you can just choose the Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic and just have sidestep close combat expert. Am I reading that right? No, you have to choose
No.
the Thing and Mr. Fantastic. So you can have Giant Reach 4,
Close
close
combat.
combat. Oh my gosh, guys.
It's really good, I think.
Son
Like,
of a-
you can
Yeah.
play the five of them in the Skrull General and still have like 20 points left over to like put on objects.
How much is the Skrull General? 30,
He's
30 points.
Yeah, and Super Skrull just has other keywords. Like, he just has Cosmic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? And oh man, I like the Spider-Man thing when that comes out, dude.
You
That
can play
might
with it,
act,
yeah.
that might actually be legit, dudes.
It is. Like there's a lot of good stuff in this set.
I told you guys this 4 through 6 super sensors with the Skrull thing was good. You just didn't pay attention to me.
I agree.
No, it's what I was thinking. I don't know because it's a theme after Spider-Man, but the Super Skrulls with the Skrull General could actually be a thing.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. They're super adaptable. Like,
Let's see, scroll. Is that map wide?
yeah, it's map wide.
It's succeed. Yeah. Scroll keyword. It's good. Like,
And he also gives them the Underworld TA, so
Yeah, and he has leadership.
wow.
I don't know if this is actually worth it, but I did realize the Prime Clayface, who already has it on 4 to 6 and doesn't break theme.
That's
Mm.
first.
Like that's not actually a thing, but like that's just worth thinking about off the top of my
Yeah.
head. 3 through 6
wait a minute,
and like
does
Mr.
the-
Place.
Does the Skrull team ability increase it by 1?
Yeah, if they already have
Yeah.
it, it becomes it by
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So you have 4 through 6 super senses. You
Oh,
can't
so
really play
you're saying-
Clayface because he doesn't have Skrull keyword, but
No,
This
he
is-
doesn't. He doesn't break. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
break
just has
theme.
it break
They
when he does
have-
not break theme, period.
I understand that, but they have to have the Skrull keyword not to be targeted when they roll it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just
Well,
talking about the rolling
oh.
the shape change part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. That part, yeah.
So you're saying that Clayface would get a 3 through 6 super senses?
Right.
Yep,
Yes.
he has team player, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Again,
fucking-
I don't actually know if it's good, but it is just a thing that came to mind in this conversation.
Yeah. It's good.
Well, no, that's what. No. So Jason, if Clayface Batman was out of the way, or if they try to go
Mhm.
after Clayface Batman first,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't target the rest of the team. It would only be if
True,
it
yes.
would only be if one of the other Skrulls
Yes, correct.
rolled shape change and they could go to Batman.
You are
But then,
correct.
but then Clayface Batman would have a 3 through 6,
Yes, you are correct.
and then Clayface Batman can potentially turn into Clayface, and they don't get to score any points.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, guys, I can't handle this. It's
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 11 it's 11:05 on a Sunday, guys. I can't handle this right now.
it's not foolproof because you can still outwit them. They do have stealth, but it's something.
Mhm.
Also,
they have 5
this-
free squares of barrier.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm not
And stealth.
disappointed. I brought him up because I thought this was a good team.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I don't know, guys. I'm just. Oh man, the Skrull scientist. That means that he gets to increase his if he's in hindering terrain.
Well, yeah, but his is it's basically it's a 4 through 6.
No. If you give him like a ring.
If you give him
Yeah.
a ring, yeah, then it's a 3 through 6. I don't think
Mhm.
he's as good anymore without. He's still okay, but he's not as good without IDs.
Wait a minute, wasn't the Skrull scientist the guy that you were like popping out and just
Mm-hmm.
taking
Yeah,
the
objects,
Skrull
taking
the Skrull
names?
technician
And,
also does the same thing.
Scroll what?
The Skrull technician also gets +1 if he's in hindering, so you give him a
Well,
ring,
yeah,
you get 3 through 6.
Yeah,
He
but
also
he's not-
keeps people from he has outwit and TK, and he can keep people from using outwit, perplex, and prob. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just an option.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a whole Spider-Man
be still my heart.
Yeah, Super Skrull's really good.
And then
Holy
the other
crap.
problem is they keep on printing they printed PS4 Spider-Man with that stupid trait, and then they printed 2 characters with that same exact stupid 4 to 6 senses trait. Like, how many characters are we going to see with that in Spider-Man? Like, that's
Well, in my opinion, Spider-Man should always have that trait. That is Spider-Man.
right. But like Silk had it. Nothing against Silk.
Okay,
but,
true.
Like, they keep on printing this trait. Is my point.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
I mean, it's accurate for her too, but
yeah.
Alex lost power.
I know, I saw.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, 5 Super Skrulls and a Skrull General.
Yep.
Damn it, I might not have to release this episode until Thursday. I'm kidding.
get wrecked. Get wrecked.
Absolutely get wrecked. I mean, 5 squares of barrier, dudes.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's got tons of stuff.
Except for rollouts more. But yeah, so I mean, Barry is good. You can move up safely.
Yeah, because it's for free. You just
Yep.
so, you probably, but the Underworld team ability doesn't let flyers carry flyers.
Right, you can't carry. So,
Yeah.
it needs a tag of
yeah.
some sort.
Yeah,
it
so
does
that
need
kind of
tag
sucks.
team.
So probably you do 4 of them, the other thing, and Prime Clayface.
Wait, why? That's not a taxi.
No, because Prime, I'm just thinking about how you move up safely. I don't know, because you can only move up with 4 of them instead of 5 of them.
And they get sidestep too. So.
Oh, they would have sidestep. Because
And barrier.
you get to choose 2 powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sidestep and barrier come together.
Right.
So you get sidestep,
stealth.
stealth, barrier, and then you can get the super senses. Or
Because
the
then
imperv.
because then when they bust your barrier down, they still have to get through your stealth, which of course Widow can.
And your
Plus super senses.
So you can choose Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic. So you have shape change, super senses, plastic booby.
I think you always pick Invisible Woman unless you need a super duper aggro turn. Like, I think Invisible Woman is just the default by, almost always. But
I'm looking at a thing in Mr. Fantastic. I like that.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Because it's 3 rollouts and you get to be offensive, but I don't know. It's good.
And you still have your 4 through 6 super senses.
there's
On top
just
of all that.
like
Well, no,
there's
you
just going to
have
be-
5, 6 super senses on that. You don't get 4 through
No.
6.
Yeah. I meant shape change. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Widow can. The thing is, Widow can only delete 1 Super Skrull's power, but
Right.
you still get your shape change.
Well, she can outwit.
She
She just has outwit.
But then they have to perplex damage, but then they can't get through another Super Skrull standing next to it because you can't. Oh man, there's a lot of options there,
And then
boys.
they can't. And Captain Marvel can't just run through them all with that plasticity either.
There's also going to be a character in like a Spider-Man character with the 4 to 6 whatever, who's going to be a wild card. You're going to be able to theme Super Skrull with them, and then even if they don't have shape change printed, you just give them, Venom symbiote, and then they also have plasticity or remake.
Well, you can already do that with PS4 Spider-Man in 1776. Super Skrull's a soldier. You can just play him and them, and they're all themed.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying there's going to be more
Yeah.
options just because
Yeah.
Spider-Mans are wild cards inherent already. So
Yeah.
Oh,
we haven't
man.
seen the whole set. There's a whole set of this nonsense to go.
Wow.
Yeah, but that is.
I think we've seen we've seen 3 chases. There are 8 total. So
There's 8 chases?
yeah, and it seems like the theme of the chases is the made up characters because Miles West and 1776. So I think they confirmed that there was an a Spider Pharaoh, so that could be Ruler.
Yeah.
I don't know. 5 more of these stupid keyword things to go.
I think the key with Super Skrull is finding a good taxi for him. I don't think you can go Skrull team fully. I think you have to go Cosmic or Soldier or something.
Man.
I don't think Soldier Coulson can't carry flyers, right?
Yeah, he can. Or am I wrong?
No, you can't.
Really? That's so dumb.
No, if you want to do that on Avengers, you gotta Voyager.
Well, he's my boy.
Suck.
Voyager's cosmic.
Yep, that is the thing you can do as well.
Oh boy, man, oh man, guys.
Yeah, they're never gonna let you go off that cosmic train, are they?
The cosmic stuff's fine, but man, this just playing 5 Super Skrulls in a freaking Skrull general, just let's go.
You can't move up. You don't have leadership or carry, so like you can just move up, I guess.
No, I mean you just played 4
Super Skrulls in a Voyager.
No, guys. So I don't want to be the one to mention this but this is a strategy to prepare for Nats. Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yep.
You just spend 35 minutes sidestep barriering.
Yeah.
Then you kill a small piece, and then barrier them out of the game.
I don't think 5 scores of barrier is enough to do that.
Ancient Hold, yes, not King's Tomb, Ancient Hold, 5 barriers is enough.
Or you also just give one of them the 0 for regular barrier, or like you figure out some sort of other barrier.
Yeah.
And then you like alternate, or wait, did they just get barrier or just barriers free?
They just do barriers free.
Oh. There should be a way to incorporate other barrier. So.
I mean, zero ring's fine.
0 ring works fine.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Which means that they can have the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, and barrier is free for 1.
Wow.
So that you always get, they wouldn't have sidestep or stealth, but you always get 5 barriers, and then every 2 out of 3 turns, assuming you don't hit her leadership, you get 8 squares of barrier. 9 squares of barrier. Because you still get the one that's free with 0.
I think that there's something not okay here if you're this excited.
It's really cool. I am excited more for like the offensive swarm capacities of this team. Like that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm excited for it all. Yeah, but I mean just the control aspect is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 5 free squares of barrier is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's going to come down to that is still a hard team to play, and that is a hard team to acquire.
For sure that.
For a lot of people, it is still a hard team to acquire. But he does have a full dial of 4 through 6 on first lick, and then the rest of his dial is 5 through 6. It would be nice to have a way to heal on that team too, like get back up.
Wait, no, it's not 5 through 6, right?
Because you would still increase it.
Standard?
You still increase standard shape change. Like
I thought it was only on a 6. Or am I wrong?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah.
I mean, I've definitely thought of worse teams.
It's not a bad team.
I mean, attack value is a little bit low, but I think it's definitely more of a control team.
Bad. It's an 11.
11's not as good as a 14.
I agree with
you. Are not wrong in the objective.
In general, I agree with that statement.
Big number, better, small number, I think is the expression.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one, guys.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, Giant Reach 4 with Close Combat Expert.
Oh, just give one of them a Space Gem. Then they can just sidestep carry 2 of them.
That's can't. How you do it. Flyers still can't carry flyers.
Even with Space Gem?
Right.
No.
Aww. Stupid fly. Why can't you carry someone that flies? That's dumb.
Because Fire Lord.
Just stop flying.
So let's so first of all, we got a lot more to talk about on this set next week during our set review.
For sure.
Because there's still a lot to talk about on this set. Let's get a couple of let's make sure I answer a couple more of those questions because we are at almost 2 hours again, and I think we've got more to talk about next week. So let's see. Brad Boylesby answered his question. Steven Spooner, we talked about Widow. John Waters, we talked about Spider-Man. Oh, awesome. Josh Parlin, we talked about Fantastic Four. Steven Spooner, we talked about Jason. I don't think Jason has fallen out of favor. Jason just won the Chicago event. I think Jason's still really good. Jordan Gardner, we talked about God Emperor Doom. Joe Ramirez, you were basically the format for the entire episode. So that you are the gauntlet. So you and Jonah were my basis for the episode. Nathan Deal.
I was wrong about that. Scroll just doesn't let you do it on the 6, not 5 or 6. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it increases it by 1. Makes sense.
It only increases it by 1 if you already have it. So Nathan Deal, let's talk about what's your biggest want from Fantastic Four, and not because it's meta, just because you love the character. Jay?
Oh man, starting with me. Come back to me.
Okay. Jason?
Valeria.
Which one?
She's awesome. Both of them. Like the Uncommon and the Chase. She's actually a really cool character.
Gotcha. You like her from the Runaways?
No, like if you like Freedom Future Foundation or whatever, like
Okay.
She's like basically smarter than Reed, but she's also a little bit devious, kind of like Doom. So, yeah, I like her a lot.
Nice. Tyler?
Can I say God Emperor Doom?
You can. Why do you like God Emperor Doom so much?
I don't actually read that many comics, but I read that story, and God Emperor Doom was awesome, and they reference all the cool moments from it, like it's where he rips out Thanos' spine.
Yep.
Which is real cool. And Doom's one of my favorite characters, like just because he's awesome.
Right. Yeah, it made me sad that Thanos was not on his best day versus God Emperor Doom.
Yeah, I could see how that would. But
Yeah.
one thing I am a little bit annoyed with real quick about God Emperor Doom is that he perplexes other people +2, -2, but he can't do it to himself. And like his whole mindset to me is boiled down to like I don't need others' help and they don't deserve mine is kind of how I see him. And so like I don't like that. He always should help himself more than others because he doesn't like to rely on anybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was a little annoying for me, but
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm okay
I
with
agree.
that because that would have made that not being the case because that would have made Dan too happy. 14 attack for 100 points.
yeah.
I'm glad my
He,
my happiness is at your forefront of thought.
I mean, your happiness means that the game isn't balanced.
Your happiness
At the same
scares Jay
time-
as a judge.
Right.
But at the
yeah.
same time, he can get Franklin up to a 15, so I'm not complaining.
True.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That's
what
a good-
world.
That's a good number. Jay, do you have your answer yet?
I'm an idiot. I totally forgot my answer should be.
Okay.
Earth X thing because Earth X because thing because
Oh.
it's a
We didn't get the
What?
wall thing.
no.
Yeah.
But the Pogs are really good, and also I just realized just
I forgot about
everything traded for 50 points you get 19 defend, traded for Plex, Empower, sidestep with super strength if you have a heavy equipment, 2 Pogs with autonomous, the only problem with him is that you one outwit on his defense and whatever, but I don't know, he's able to body block with the kids and I don't know. There's everything about it except for being the one defense power, and also just hey, you're too close, -2 attack as a trait. That's just everything, and just Earth X inherently.
I like that a lot. I mean, that can be good for a lot of things that are Earth X.
And you can give him Power Cosmic because he's Fantastic Four. So don't worry about him.
Damn.
You can do what now? Say
Give
who?
him Power Cosmic with Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards.
Yeah, he just has the within 4
Franklin
thing.
Richards might be the best piece in this set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really good.
Wasn't there a problem with how his trait is worded or his power is worded? I think Lucas said
yeah.
that it just checks. It doesn't check for this turn or whatever.
I'm assuming they're going to errata that.
My other
Right.
problem is, why would you ever choose regeneration? Because you might take more damage than you heal.
Because you
Like-
might not.
You might not, but you might. So
Wait, no,
I
you
mean,
can only take 1 damage, right? Or am I wrong?
no. You take
No, he'd take.
6 take half damage.
Oh, yeah.
So you very well, you very well might regen. I mean, you can do
Yeah,
it against all you want, but
It's probably pretty dumb to pick it. I
Friendly
agree.
characters with the Fantastic Four keyword within 4 squares have power cosmic.
Yeah,
I think the big problem with him though is that Widow deletes him.
No. Widow makes him an 11-click character that starts with 11, 18, 4 for 65 points.
yes, that is exactly
him.
right.
And Power Cosmic. Like, well,
Okay.
Power Cosmic is better than him, but it gives stuff.
Also, like the Widow, I don't know. I feel like yeah, Widow's a problem, but like if she keeps on being a problem, I don't know. Hopefully something
Like,
happens.
She gets around.
How much would you pay for just that dial? Like, blank, empty, no traits.
I think just about 65 points.
Right? I would say 40 or 50 at least. And I'd be happy to pay it at 40 or 50.
Honestly,
I don't know. I got 36 clicks of Haha Joker for 50 points a few years ago.
That is true.
That's an outlier. You can't if that's the formula. No hero clicks is good.
Man,
I could pay 50 points for Joker for what was like 30 clicks plus healing, or I can play Unimind. I don't know. Like Joker could win the matchup.
I still think
I don't
Joker
know.
was one of the most broken hero clicks like ever.
Yep.
Oh man, Joker could have became an Avenger.
I don't want to think about all the things Joker could do right now. Okay. I don't want to think about Herald of Galactus Joker. Okay.
All right, so
Oh,
so there is a lot more to talk about on the Fantastic Four set. We're going to record next week about that. Jay chose Thing, which was my pick. So now
Sorry.
I'm having to pick another. I love the Earth X Thing. I don't know anything about him, but I'm going to try to make it a point to read about him this week. I'm actually going to choose the Rare Surfer.
that is a good choice.
Because,
Dude, he's just good. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so this is my it's a pick that's not necessarily meta, but it feels like it's a surfer that is finally representative of a surfer.
Except for the being a pacifist, but
So
that's on HeroClix.
but Surfer is really a pacifist though. He doesn't fight unless he's attacked.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think at least and this is my perspective of watching Surfer on cartoons and movies and reading some of the comics. I know he's super powered, right? Like he's, I don't know, fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
So
It's like Superman level strong.
right,
Yeah.
but he is forced into servitude of Galactus.
Yep.
So he only uses all of his power when he needs to. Now, I don't know if this version is representative of that based on whatever comic it's from. But, generally, Surfer comes in and just isn't touched by anyone because he just whips their ass. But he usually only does it in sort of like a kind of like a I want to say like a Shang-Chi sort of way. Like he takes in their energy and gives it back to them.
Yeah, that's kind of the only Silver Surfer comic I ever read is when he fought Parallax.
Yeah.
Silver
It's
Surfer
actually
with Thor's
funny.
hammer is pretty badass.
Oh, I really thought that was going to be the Prime. I really, truly thought that was going to be
That
it.
would have been
Because
so
that's
awesome.
the same story. That's the same comic as the Punisher, Ghost Rider, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so
What?
cool.
Which hammer?
Thor's hammer.
So in the comic of Punisher, Ghost Rider, whatever, Silver Surfer
This is in
uses
Thanos.
Mjolnir.
This is in Thanos 2018 volume. Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to read that.
Yeah, I need to read
it's
this.
really good.
Like,
Yeah.
I just
Really
like
good. And
It takes
also,
it takes 2 Thanoses to take him down.
yeah. It's also worth noting that if you were because you reminded me of talking about reading the Earth X stuff, you definitely, from what I've heard, owe it to yourself to read the comics with Don Greenwood, from what I've heard.
Okay.
Don
I'll
Green.
add
Oh,
that to
the
the
Bison.
list.
I think that. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that some next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in full. Yeah, because there's more things to talk about. I do not want to talk about them right now because we've exceeded 2 hours, and tomorrow is a work day. So there's a lot to talk about in each of these pieces. Like I'm staring at Karnak right now. Do not want to talk about him just yet. We will. Final thoughts, Jay.
This set is low key, just a lot of stuff going on. But the problem is this environment is just is insane.
Right.
It is so insane, dude.
Agreed. It is. Jason?
I'm really excited about playing Skrulls. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know why you made me want 5 Super Skrulls all of a sudden.
I think that's the name of the episode, 5 Super Skrulls and a Skrull General.
Yeah, I think 5 Super Skrulls is definitely the name of the episode for sure. That's I'll have to remember that tomorrow evening when I do the episode. Oh boy. All right, Tyler, final thoughts?
We need to have more fun team nicknames. So like if you like a certain team composition, should have a nickname. They do that in other things, and they're cool and like pop culture. I want somebody to get on that.
So like we only play hero clicks to make us mad because men only play hobbies
No.
that make
So
them
like
mad?
if someone played like 5 Super Skrulls and a Skrull General, like and that team, someone should make like some sort of pop culture reference around that. You know
You can't touch this.
It's something like, that's what I want. That's it.
All right, I'm with you. I'm down. I can agree with that. I think we can. My final thoughts are, HeroClix is inside in the air conditioning. It's been 95 degrees here in southern Indiana and Kentucky this past week, so I'm glad I am not on the golf course. Thanks everybody for listening to Clickstuff today, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
See ya.